Not here to convince anybody to think like me. I'm gonna make this very clear. Another Perspective Talks with your boy, the guy Herrera Jr. What's up, y'all? We here, man. Got some topics I want to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, to say. I'm coming out with this couple shows, a couple things that I'm doing for Perspective. Wanted to come on here, talk about a few topics. What is love? You feel me? What is love, man? We about to hit that. That's Valentines Day around the corner. I think it's important to know what you define as love. Again, life is about perspective. Everybody has their own way, shape, and form of doing life and just living. So has, for the most part, a different definition of what love is. I was with a girl who her definition of love was different from mine. If you ask me, what is love? Is attachment. Why do I say that? Because when you love something, you're attached to it. And I'll tell you why and in what references I say that. Something that I love is my parents, right? I love my parents. I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my brother. I love my sister. And I've been in love. I had a significant other before. And what I mean by attachment is I am more attached to that person than I am to others. So there might be things that the people that I love do that is not in my favor, or I give much more leeway. I am much more attached to the people that I love versus a random person that I might not love or I might have just met. And what do I mean by that? If somebody does something that harms me, damages me in some type of way, shape, or form, regardless if it's using vulgar words or putting me in a physical situation where I'm actually hurt, I'm missing an opportunity, whatever that might look like, I might forgive someone that I love much quicker than a random person. The people that I love get more chances. They get more opportunities. I'm more attached to them. So if I had one person here and the person that I love in another role and they did the exact same act, they hurt me in the exact same way, I am much more likely to, I guess it's forgive or just be attached. If I was gonna cut off two people and one of them I have a lot of love for, the one that I have a lot of love for is gonna be harder for me to detach from them, to exit them out of my life, because they probably play a really big role in my life. If I love you, you probably play a huge role in my life, for sure. I'll give you another example, because I'm the type of person that I learn through examples, right? I love basketball. I love the sport. I love the game. And I'm attached. When basketball hurts me, right? When I give something my all and I don't see the result that I was looking for, it's going to be harder for me to quit when two people lost. If I had to cut off somebody that I love versus cutting off somebody that I don't really talk to or I don't fuck with like that, me cutting off the person that I love is much more difficult because I'm attached to them. They are a part of my life. And what I mean by attachment is that they're here. They're part of my life. So me detaching from them ultimately changes my life. If I detach from somebody I don't love, I could care less because my life is probably not going to change that much, right? My definition of love is an attachment. And I told y'all the things that I love. I love basketball. I'm attached to it. Now I'm in a space now where I'm not pursuing basketball at the same degree that I was pursuing it when I was playing, but now I'm pursuing it in a professional manner. I'm pursuing it in a career orientated manner. Meaning I'm building a job, I'm building a career, I'm looking to work in the game because I love the game that much. I cannot just sit here and act like I did not invest all of this time, energy, and attention into this thing. So that's where I'm at with it, man. What is love? Love is an attachment. Strongest energy, the strongest form, the highest thing, the biggest thing that you could have in life is love, right? You ever heard people say there's love, Rev Run? Y'all remember that? I think that for sure. But that also is a very big responsibility. Anything that comes with great reward often has great responsibility. Y'all know this. For all my fellas out there that they got a shorty, they know dealing with their shorty is a whole groups of friends. Say one of your mans gets into a relationship and now he's starting to act different It's because he has a different set of responsibilities on his hand. Tired of the girl just always tripping him out. Time and attention, those are I think the biggest values that you can give somebody. So when you get a girlfriend or you get a boyfriend, they probably require some of that. And when you live in your life normally and now you have to divide your time and attention with other things and other people, other categories start to get less energy and attention. You get what I'm saying? So what is love? Love is attachment. To me, this is a perspective. I'm not here to convince anybody to think like me. I'm gonna make this very clear. I'm here, I'm projecting myself. If you resonate with it, great. If you don't, do your thing, baby. It ain't no problems. I just know that there's a tribe out there. I know that there's a group of people out there that probably have a similar mindset to me, and that's why I started making content. Because I want to find the people who be on the P shit, you know what I mean? If you keeping it real P, you probably resonate with me in some type of way, shape, or form. So, talk about the importance of prioritizing what you love, right? Importance of prioritizing what you love. I just talked about how if you got a girlfriend or you have a significant other, at some degree they require some level of prioritization. You feel me? They require some level of prioritization. And this is why it's important to know what you love. It's so strong that you gotta be very careful with what you love, for sure. 100%. This is why self-development and self-awareness is so important to me. It's crucial because you can't be out here loving on everything. Love requires time, energy, and attention. Those are the most valuable things that you can have, because time, energy, and attention, that's what makes you money. Time, energy, and attention, that's what allows you to be fulfilled. Our experience, right? Human beings, the way we live is measured in where you spend your time, what you give your attention to, and the energy that you put in it. If your job is sucking the life out of you, it's because you're investing too much time, energy, and attention, and you're probably not getting a return on that. Do you understand that? So that's why I started pushing this content, because it's too important, it's too valuable for you not to be self-aware. You are being attacked on the daily basis. This is not 1990 no more. You are getting hit by ads, marketing media, your phone, the TV, trying to put y'all on, man. Y'all gonna lose, you gonna lose the battle when there's $1 trillion company putting $1 million of ads up every single year, just so that you as a consumer do what they want you to do to make you behave in a certain type of way. Do you understand that? I'm not gonna ramble on about that. The importance of prioritizing what you love and knowing what you love, right? It's about to be All-Star Weekend. We're gonna talk about that later. But on what you love, I think the first step in prioritizing what you love is knowing what you love. Once you know what you love, then you can distribute your energy, time, and attention in a manner which allows you to live a fulfilled life. I'm gonna answer the question, what are some things that I love? I love my lifestyle. I love my mindset. Mindset is extremely important. That's me waking up every single day, asking myself, what am I grateful for? Why do I do that? Because I believe that gratitude is the foundation of fulfillment. Once you're in a space where you're constantly grateful for what you have, gratitude is having a certain level of appreciation for whatever the category is that you're talking about. If I'm grateful for my lifestyle, if I'm grateful for my mindset, I have appreciation for those things. I'm grateful for my family. I have a level of appreciation for that. I have an abundance of everything that I want. Everything that I ever wanted, I have an abundance of. I have an abundance of money. Health, I have an abundance of health. Abundance of love. Shorties, I have an abundance of shorties. I have an abundance of opportunities. So those are things that, again, and this is part of a conceptualization, the way I live my life. The most important thing to me is doing what I love. That's my number one goal. I don't care. I'll make less money. I will go, if I'm doing something that I love, I won, because then it doesn't necessarily feel like work. It's just doing something that I want to do. It's like and I think that the love concept is usually or conceptualized, used in dating aspect, like man and women, girl and whatever. I don't really get into all of that, but in the dating concept, when you doing things out of love, you don't care to spend that extra money on your girlfriend because you love her and you're gonna get the money back. It doesn't even feel like work. Doing extra things for your significant others. For an example, when I do stuff for my mom, I do it out of a space of love. I love her so much. I have so much appreciation for her that it doesn't hurt me. I might be on a certain discipline financially, even with my time. I'm on a time structure right now. I'm doing this and this, and when I got out of work, I do that and that. And I will break that sometimes because of how much I love my mom. And I know that she's gonna be happy with just seeing me. You get what I'm saying? So where I'm going with all of this is to express and to explain points of prioritizing love. When you start to prioritize the things that you love, meaning that you start to give it time, energy, and attention, your day-to-day is different. Your lifestyle is different because now you living in love. You living in a state where you're doing things out of just pure natural desire. Needless to say, that does not mean that you will not face adversity. You will face adversity in anything that you put your time, energy, and attention to. But my definition of adversity is a little different. With basketball, I faced the highest levels of adversity. I was in a relationship with a girl for many years. She knows she is. I went through a lot of adversity with her. And it's not that it didn't feel like adversity. Of course it felt like adversity, but I was more willing to go through the adversity. I was more willing to jump over the hurdles, again, because I did not want to detach. I was in love with this thing. I was in love with the idea of playing college basketball. So when I tore my ACL the first time, my nigga, I was still with it. Bro, I feel passionate about this shit. That's why I sometimes get into these moods. I went through every single emotion trying to pursue what I was trying to pursue. And none of the emotions made me fold. Of course, I had moments where I wanted to quit. Of course, I had moments where I was fed up mentally, physically, all of that spiritually. But I did not quit because I was attached to the idea, to the dream of doing this thing. Same thing with Shorty that I was dealing with. Whenever we used to go through problems that I probably wouldn't put up with nobody else, I was willing to overcome my own emotion. I was willing to overcome to stay with this person because I'm attached to them. And that's why you got to be very careful about what you're attached to. Because when you're in love with something, it's going to be real hard to let go. And you got to be making sure that that thing that you love is not dragging you through the mud. You got to make sure that the thing that you love is not dragging you through the mud. You got to make sure that the thing that you love is not ruining your life. Because I've seen it happen. I still see it happen to this day. People be in relationships, people be in pursuit of other things. People don't pursue other things because they're still caught up in what they loved day one. And they think that they won't love something else. And that's not for me to answer. I'm in no position to sit here and tell somebody that they either will find love somewhere else or that they can find love somewhere else. I personally think that you could create whatever you want, but respect it. I understand the difference of I love this shorty and I haven't found nobody that loves me like that, because I go through that still to this day. 100%. There's certain women in my life that, yo, gang, they got it. And I had experience with many women, and the feelings, whatever you want to call it, the attachment, it's not the same. Trust me, it's not the same. But I'm not ramble on, and to conclude this topic, the importance of prioritizing what you love. You got to know what you love. And when you know what you love, you got to prioritize it. Because you're doing the things that you love, it's easier to get through the adversity because you're attached to it. When you doing something that you don't really like, that you dealing with a shorty that you don't really like that, bro, anything that she do, you ready to cut her off because you don't really fuck with her like that. Your job, you want to leave your job. Why? Because you don't really fuck with that shit like that. You don't love what you do. That's why people got to say, yo, you got to do what you love. Because when you do what you love, the attachment is different. I love bringing people together, bro. That's who I am. That's in my nature. I'm a team player. Anybody who's played with me on a basketball team knows that. I'm a team-oriented dude. I love bringing people together, right? I love the sports space. I love going out to a party, going out to a networking event. I love doing those things. Those are things that I feel the most flow. I feel jiggy. I'm on some peace when I'm in there, when I'm doing that. That's my flow state. So I'm looking to create a career off of that. I'm looking to live my whole life doing what I love. Do you understand that? So the adversity that comes with pursuing what I'm trying to pursue is so much easier for me to go through because I'm not ready to quit. I like what I do, bro. I love, game 7, look, 7, New York versus New York, 2025 summer, some of the most fun I ever had in my whole life working. I was working. Yo, we'd work 12, 14-hour shifts. Gang, I was working and I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the work. Obviously, it was sweating. We was putting in grind hours for sure. But basketball world in New York. So I'm in a space where I know a lot of people. I'm in a space where I'm hosting people. I'm a coordinator. I'm technically a brand ambassador, production assistant, whatever you want to call it. But I'm ultimately a hospitality coordinator. I'm in there to make people feel good. I was chilling in that shit. I loved it. I loved doing the work because that was me. That is my most pure self. Y'all know how I feel. Nobody gonna come out and say some negative things. And anybody who had an interaction with me this summer at New York versus New York, they know it because they felt the energy, they felt the flow, they felt the happiness that I walked in with every single day. So again, the importance of prioritizing what you love. If you got a girlfriend out there, prioritize her. If you got a man out there, prioritize him. If you got something that you like to do, hair, nails, it doesn't matter. Get money, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you prioritize that shit. Love and peace being a new standard. I'm gonna give this example real quick. I think that men love peace. Men are an experienced man understands and values peace, right? And I'm talking about myself. Understand that there will, at some degree, there will always be adversity. No matter what you're doing, if you got a car, if you got a woman, if you got a family, if you got a business, if you got whatever you're devoting your time, energy, and attention to, there will come some degree of adversity. And my relationship with adversity is much different from where it was in the past. My relationship with adversity is now understood as it being my teacher. So whenever I'm going through adversity, I'm really looking at it as like, this is teaching me something. And that's why I love peace. My happiness, it comes and goes. My peace, it comes and goes. Everything comes and goes. But I have a level of gratitude for when I'm at peace. Because my mind is clear. Because when I'm at peace, I don't gotta do nothing. I'm just in the present. I'm in the moment, right? And with women, I think that women love love. They love the idea of love and happiness and the idea of just in a state of flow, and they do everything out of a place of love. And again, this is a generalized statement. This is not necessarily me saying that everyone is like this or me saying that everyone is like that, my guy. This is just me speaking on something that I think peace is the new standard. Peace is the new standard. The level of peace that I experience on a week-to-week basis is important to me. I gotta be at peace. That's when I can make the best decisions. All the things, and I formulate my life so that I do everything that I love for sure, but I don't think that life is about love. I don't think that life is about being attached to something, because me as a man, I understand that I gotta be ready to detach from anything at any given moment. Obviously, I want to position myself so I could be in a place of love and I could operate from that when I'm just doing things out of love, so it just flows. But I must be ready at any given time to give up whatever. I don't know, that's just like, as a man, I feel like I gotta be ready to give anything up at any given time, because it just might be like that. It gets like that. You feel me? I could have a shorty, and the shorty mean the world to me, and she's the best thing in the world to me, but I gotta be ready to at any given moment, because there might be another opportunity for me to grow in another way that I'm prioritizing. And again, going back to the idea, prioritizing what you love. If you're doing things out of a state of love and you prioritizing love, you always gonna be good. This is why self-mastery is important, understanding what it is that you love. Do you love this is my favorite part. Do you love the person, your significant other, or do you love how they make you feel? Because once you start to understand the differences, you start to understand what it is that you're truly attached to. You might not be in love with the person, you might be in love with the feeling. And now, once you're able to have those feelings somewhere else, maybe with another person, maybe through another channel, right? I just talked about how I love basketball. I love the feeling that basketball gives me, a sense of connectivity with other people. It gives me a sense of leadership, right? So now I'm able to feel those same feelings with other things like work. I'm able to feel maybe not the exact same feeling, but I'm able to feel a version 2.0 of what I was already feeling. So I should just give to that. Mastery is important, because if you're not careful about what you love and you're not certain about what you love, you might be doing things that is harming you and you're not really noticing that. So I just talked about how you could be in a relationship with somebody, right? And you're attached to that love, something about that person. Maybe it is how they make you feel, maybe it's their softness, whatever that might be. If you're not careful, you might be selling yourself a story, telling yourself that you're in love with this person, when in reality, you're in love with how this person makes you feel. And once you get deeper on and you really start to understand, oh, I don't really love, I love how safe I feel around them. I love how catering they are to me, right? And now once you can detach from the person and go look for those things elsewhere, if the situation is not suiting you anymore. That's what I'm trying to get to at the end of the day. So for an example, my mom loves me in ways that I don't know how to love myself. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. My mom is forgiving in ways that I don't know how to forgive myself for. And that's why I love the feeling of her nurturing, catering, her ability to always prioritize me and make me the main idea. I'm a mama's boy, heavy for sure. And those are the feelings that I look for in women. This is the fact. Crazy because I'm saying it right now and I never really thought about it like that. But that's what I look for in women. I look for to be prioritized in that way. I love to be nurtured and catered, and I love just being around my shoulder and she constantly just rubbing on me, rubbing my arms, rubbing my shoulders, whatever that might be. I love getting massage. I love just being the center of attention in somebody else's life. I love to be catered to, nurtured to. Oh, hey, you want to eat, honey? I love that. So with understanding that, I understand not only what I like and what I'm looking for, but I understand what I'm attached. So now it's not about Susie, 7th grade, that used to make me feel that way. Now I could be in another space or have another woman and I could detach from Susie. I can expand my mind, can expand my experiences and not be like, damn, I'm only in love with this girl. I don't think I could be in love with somebody else because she was the only one who made me feel that way. Now I could go and move to another state, to another country and be like, you know what, I'm looking for these things. And then when I encounter those things, I can easily identify that and I don't have to attach it to the person. I could just be like, yo, you make me feel like, or I could train somebody to do that. You get what I'm saying? Once I'm attached to, I bet I like this. So now I can instruct somebody my love. I like it. I like to be treated like this. And if you're willing to do it, now we could get down. But if you out think that you attaching an idea of this person, you being in love with this person. And again, I'm big on love. I'm here for everybody being in love for sure. I'm with that 1000%. My big thing on it is you just gotta be careful and understand the importance of loving something. Because when you love something, you're willing to go to a very far extent for it. And you gotta be very careful what you're going to a far extent for. Because we only got one life. You feel me? And life's about perspective. Ain't no such thing as wasted time, but you could definitely curate your experiences a lot better. You could definitely choose how you want to live up on this life. So again, man, self-mastery is, and the reason why I'm making this content is so that you can master yourself, so that you can understand yourself. Let's talk about Valentine's Day. Yo, what's y'all plans for Valentine's Day, man? How are y'all prioritizing the things that you love? It's not about having a girl. It's not about having a significant other. It's about prioritizing the things that you love, man. Stop getting caught up with all these holidays and just understanding that we live in a capitalist society. If you live in America, you live under capitalism, and you got to understand that this shit was all built for you to spend money, my nigga. And that does not mean don't celebrate, because then some people, they go too far right in my liking. I understand these concepts, and I still fucks with Christmas. I still fucks with Valentine's Day. I'm still a fan of all the major holidays. And I understand that a lot of them was built under capitalistic styles, and it is what it is, right? So if it's Valentine's Day and we prioritizing love and significant others, right? Because that's usually how people validate love, through another person, which is crazy to me. Can y'all think about what's the top 5 or the top 3 things that you love? Can you list and can you name the top 3 things? They don't even got to be the top. Can you name 5 things that you love? Nouns, people, places, or things. Can you name that? Can we prioritize that on Valentine's Day? It is not about having sex. It's not about going to dinner. For all my men, let me teach y'all something. Your shorty do not care about what gift you got her, bro. She cares about how you made her feel, gangster. Come on, player. I'm gonna say that one more time for the players in the back. Your girl do not care about what gift you gave her. She cares about how you made her feel, player. You understand what I'm saying? Once you really start mastering that, you start understanding masculine and feminine energy. Yo, the feminine moves off of feelings. The masculine moves off of logic. We move off of, yo, this shit gotta make sense. 2 + 2 = 4. In feminine energy, and there's a lot of men out here who have feminine tendencies. That is not a problem. That is just not me. You feel me, P? I want you to understand, player. Your girl cares about how you made her feel. It's not about what you did for her, what you got her. It's not about the money. It's about how are you making her feel. They doing this and they doing that. And so this Valentine's Day, what are you doing for yourself? How are you showing yourself love? Do you even know how to show yourself love? Do you even know what are the top 5 things that you love? This is an activity for you to think about. You send this to your homeboys. Y'all got group chats on Instagram. Send this to your mans. Do you know what the top 5 things are that you love? And if you my mans, you should know what my top things are that I love. That's how you be a better mans to me. And a lot of people gonna say, oh, money. It's not about money. It's about what money gets you. It's about what money does for you. It makes you feel. When you go to the club, you spend a lot of money. The club prioritizes you. They put you in a VIP section. They bring bottles to you. They bring signs. They might even have women for you. What does that make you feel? It's never about the money. You feel me? Keep it P, man. I'ma holla at y'all boys, man.